Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise to find those surprising insights you might have missed. Today, we're looking at something pretty unique emerging in Taiwan. It's called the Bilingual Bible Character Education Association. Quite a name. And their mission, well, it's ambitious. They're tackling some big societal and educational needs head on, but with a really distinct angle. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. What's really driving this? Seems like it rests on three core ideas, three pillars, if you like. First, it's a direct response to Taiwan's big 2030 bilingual policy push, boosting English skills across the board. Second, there's this clear societal demand for character education. Parents, educators, they're really looking for this. And third, crucially, it's all anchored in biblical truth. That provides the moral foundation. So it's not just language, not just morals class, it's this fusion. What's your take on how this combination fits into Taiwan right now?
Well, what's really fascinating, I think, is their strategic positioning. They're not setting up as competitors. Instead, they explicitly aim to be a professional supplementary education resource partner. That's key for schools, for families. And that directly tackles some real pain points of the 2030 policy, like the teacher shortages we hear about, and the fact that teaching quality can be pretty uneven. So they're stepping in to fill a specific gap. It's quite clever, really.
Right. Being a partner, not a rival. That's smart. Okay, so digging into what they actually offer, I was really struck by this framework they call the Bible character pillars. How exactly does that work? Connecting universal values, respect, responsibility, gratitude, forgiveness, things like that to specific Bible teachings. How does that provide a foundation that feels different?
Yeah, it's more than just a list of virtues. The idea is to ground these universal values quite deeply. By linking them to specific Bible stories, characters, and principles, they give them a rich context. It makes it relatable for kids, It takes character beyond just abstract ideas and turns it into more tangible life lessons. It aims for a holistic, ethical framework that can really resonate.
And it sounds like they haven't just dreamt this up in isolation. They've looked at what works elsewhere.
Exactly. That's another insightful piece. They've clearly studied other successful nonprofits. Like they mentioned learning from Rainbow Kids, especially around volunteer training systems and how they weave life education into schools effectively. And they've also looked at CEF Taiwan Child Evangelism Fellowship, particularly their structured teacher certification, kind of like their CMI program. So all this research informs their own plan for building something robust, something scalable, ensuring quality doesn't dip as they grow.
Okay, so they have this unique vision. They've done their homework. How does it actually look on the ground? What services are they offering?
They've mapped out a pretty clear three-part service ecosystem. First, there are the direct programs. Think engaging, hands-on bilingual camps and workshops for kids. They have these themes like courageous communicator or diligent designer, fun stuff. Second, and this is key for reach, scalable resources. They're developing standardized curriculum kits, boxed sets really, for churches, schools, even homeschooling families. These include teacher manuals, student workbooks, bilingual storybooks. It's a major potential revenue stream too, and they've priced it based on market analysis, aiming for accessibility but also sustainability. Something like NT $9,800 for a camp, maybe NT $2,500 for a curriculum set. And third, empowering educators. They're setting up a tiered training and certification system for teachers and volunteers, building a whole network of skilled instructors. Level 1 training might be around NT $3,500, for instance.
Wow, that is comprehensive, covering direct delivery, resources, and training. And how are they planning to get the word out to reach all these different groups?
Yeah, their outreach strategy seems just as thought through. It's a mix. Digitally, they're planning a content-rich website, using social media strategically, and leveraging Line, which is huge in Taiwan, for direct engagement with parents and educators. Then there are the partnerships, crucial ones. They're planning church alliance programs and offering free professional development lectures for teachers, specifically targeting those bilingual pilot schools, plus collaborating with Christian parent bloggers and, those educational key opinion leaders or KOLs, building credibility and reach that way.
And they've clearly thought about the long haul too, right? Sustainability, measuring impact. It's not just about launching.
Definitely. They have a detailed first-year operating budget layout, and interestingly, it projects a positive net revenue. So they're aiming for financial health from the get-go, something like NT $1.35 million in expenses versus NT $1.64 million income projected, and clear KPIs, key performance indicators, not just financial, but also service volume, how many kids served, teachers trained. And importantly, impact measurements, using surveys to gauge changes in character understanding and language confidence. They even have a 3-year roadmap. Year 1 is establish and pilot. Year 2 is scale and expand. Year 3 moves towards advocacy and influencing policy. It's very structured.
So wrapping this up, what does this really tell us? What should you take away? It shows an organization that's been incredibly meticulous, planning a really holistic approach, bridging language, character, and faith, all tailored to meet very specific needs they've identified in Taiwan.
And that does raise a bigger question for you to think about. How might organizations like this one, with such a clear focus on societal needs and these kind of innovative, integrated educational models, start to reshape learning and values? Not just in Taiwan, perhaps, but maybe globally too. Especially as more societies grapple with this dual challenge, boosting language skills and fostering character in our increasingly connected world. Something to ponder.